Well, good morning, everybody. I'm here today to talk to you about how likely is it that your RV might get stolen or stuff you own around your RV may get stolen, especially if you're a full time RVer, and what can you do about it? First off, there's no reliable national database or even state database that I could find that tracks the thefts from RVs or theft from RVers. So it's mostly anecdotal. There was one organization that did a little mini 2 year study of their own. And one of the things they found that surprised me when I first saw it, but then when I thought about it, it made perfect sense. By far, if we're talking your whole RV being stolen, the most likely one to be stolen is a travel trailer. Not fifth wheels, not Class C's, Class A's. It's travel trailers. And when you think about it, the reason for that's pretty obvious. All you need is a truck with a hitch on it to hook up to it and make a quick getaway. And they do have hitch locks, but all you really need to do to make a quick getaway is use the chain that is attached to your trailer that's used for safety, and just wrap it or jury rig it around your trailer hitch, and off you go for at least a short distance, so you can get to a place where maybe you can take some kind of tool to that ball hitch lock and get that off of there. So that might slow someone down that isn't willing to do the chain thing, but it's determined thieves, it's not going to slow them down. And preventing your RV from getting stolen or your stuff from getting stolen is, to me, there's no foolproof method that's going to be 100% effective. However, the more you can do to slow the thief down and deter them, to have them look at the barriers that they need to go through to get to your RV or to steal your RV or get to your stuff, they're more apt to pass on you and go to easier pickings. So the first thing is the lock that came on your RV door is okay. You know, most of them are pretty standard. The problem is a lot of them have interchangeable keys. Yeah, they really do. And so I don't know the exact information, factual information on that, but I do understand there's a lot of key duplication for storage compartments as well. So what I did is I replaced my regular lock with this lock. I bought it on Amazon, and I used the keyless entry on it. There's also keys for it, but each lock is keyed differently. So that's a big thumbs up. And I had this lock on for almost 4 years on this trailer, and then a couple of years prior on the my older trailer. So I've had the lock for longer than I've had the trailer. It still works better. You can. I don't bother because I don't have that much valuable stuff in my storage compartment. You could replace the latches and the keys for something more secure. I haven't done that, but that's something that you could do. Some people install security systems. That's overkill for me. But what I do have are these blank cameras, and you can get into this system for usually less than $200. I have 2 outdoor cameras that are motion sensitive, and because I have a hotspot in the trailer that's going all the time, it's connected to the internet, and if there's any motion, I'll be notified of it. Also, I have interior cameras as well that I can set for motion, but that doesn't do me a lot of good since the dog is often in here and the cat, and they'd be setting it off all the time. But it's an inexpensive way to get video surveillance. Also, it's good if someone takes off with your e-bike. You might have you might have video of that, and if you get really lucky, you might get a license plate number. So that's good to do. let's see, what else? I did talk briefly about. Oh, by the way, the cameras are real small. You can see on the what I showed you. They're small. They're inconspicuous, and they're hard to spot unless you know what you're looking for or where you're looking. The other thing is that, especially if you're a boondocker, all right, you like your solitude and you like being away from other people. The more isolated you are, the more risk that you're taking that someone's going to do you dirt while you're in town. Because if they can get to your rig and do things unobserved by others, they're very likely to consider that a low risk theft. So think about that. I always, when I boondock in groups of people, so there are always people around. And by the way, have I ever had my rig stolen? No. Have I ever had anything sitting outside my rig in 4 years of full-time RVing stolen? The answer is no. I have not. And there's one thing that I definitely do that, well, a couple things that I do. I do have a sticker on there that says video surveillance, something like that. It lets people know there's video on them. And yeah, that can get them to start looking for the cameras, but usually they see that and they don't want anything to do with it because they may not be able to spot all the cameras, right? And no one wants to be caught on camera breaking the law, do we? No. So just be aware if you're isolated, you stand a bigger chance of that happening. Travel trailer users like me, mine's a Winnebago 2021 Winnebago Micro Mini. It's a prime candidate for theft, especially when I'm gone. Someone to hook up to it, like I said, with wrapping the chain around instead of using the hitch, and you can pull it away pretty fast. So I don't even bother with, I think I have a ball lock somewhere, but I don't bother with it. What I do is I put like a bright yellow, I think they call it a wheel chalk, but it's designed so even if you can hook up the trailer, unless you take that thing off, the tires aren't going to roll. Now, when you look real closely at it, if you got a big hammer or a pry bar, you can disable it really, really quickly. One of the reasons I liked having a yellow one, they can see it from a distance and go, okay, that's going to be a pain. Whatever that is going to be a pain in the neck. On to the next one. That's why I got the bright yellow one. What else? Oh, I often will have my e-bike, my very expensive e-bike, my expensive generator out there. It's sitting outside while I'm gone. I have, medium duty cable locking it to the trailer. Is that theft proof? Of course not. You can come up with a pair of bolt cutters and in very short order cut those cables. It is a deterrent. It's like, am I going to drive around looking for a new generator? Or am I going to pick the one that's cable locked? Or am I going to pick the one that obviously isn't locked to anything and I can pick it up right away and get out of there? They're going to pick the path of least resistance. So you, in every case here, want to be the path of most resistance. Not foolproof, but more resistant than the next guy. I don't really have valuables in my rig. I don't have jewelry or cash or anything like that. But if I did, I'd find a pretty safe place to hide it. That's a deterrent too. Yeah, I could ransack this guy's entire rig from one end to the other, but I'm going to be in here tearing stuff apart for a long time. Most thieves don't want to do that. Things like cell phones and cameras and electronic things that are really valuable that are sitting out on your dining room table, say goodbye. I wouldn't leave stuff like that out. I would hide it. Like this camera that I'm talking to that was $700. I don't leave that out. I either take it with me or I hide it pretty good. Um, what else can I tell you? Just because I haven't had theft experience, I've had friends that have lost things. I have friends that have lost e-bikes. Even in RV parks, it's well known that people come through RV parks just to pick off expensive e-bikes, and e-bikes can get pretty expensive. I think mine was $700 some odd dollars, and that's at the very low. That's at the very low end. You can spend $5,000 on an e-bike, and people do. And also solar panels. Now, I have 3 rich solar heavy 200-watt panels on the ground. All winter long when I'm boondocking. So I tie them together and stake them to the ground, and all you need is a pair of scissors to free them, because it's all they're attached to each other with zip ties. They're attached to the stakes going into the ground with zip ties. But it's time consuming and a pain in the neck to snip all those things. Again, it's not a foolproof. Any guy with a pocket knife can zip through there in a minute, have all those free. But they don't know that when they look and they go, oh, this thing's not coming up easy. It's not worth it to take the risk. Go on to one that I can just pluck off the ground. The other thing I do is I always, if I'm camping with people, if I'm going to go into town, I tell someone where I'm going. And I let people know, unless I tell you different, no one should be poking around or doing something around my rig other than me. And if I do have someone coming out to pick something up or to drop something off, I will let my campmates know that. So they know if they look out and they see someone out near my rig, they'll stick their head out the door or out the window and say, hey, can I help you? And usually if that person is a criminal, that'll be enough to get him out of there. They'll also probably take pictures of him in his vehicle. So it's pretty rare to have theft where there's a group of people obviously camping together. It's very high risk for the thief. I've stayed in RV parks, not a lot of RV, I'm not full-time in RV parks, but I've really never had a problem in an RV park. You can always check local crime statistics to see if you're in an area that has particularly high property values in comparison to the rest of the state or rest of the country. And if it does, you might take additional steps, be a little bit more vigilant. If you're staying in an RV park, ask them, hey, are things getting stolen in here? Are people losing e-bikes? Ask if you have an e-bike that you want to leave outside. Ask them in the office, are people stealing e-bikes? And guess what? They'll tell you. They'll go, yeah, it's a real problem. We lose 3 or 4 a week or 1 a day or something. And if you hear an answer like that, you might not want to leave your e-bike on the outside. There are professional e-bike, really serious e-bike theft people that drive around with a truck and bolt cutters, and they move real fast. And there's almost nothing other than some super heavy duty chain you can use to lock your e-bike to the outside of your rig and thwart those guys, especially those cable locks that I have. They'd be gone in seconds. And especially if you have one of the more expensive e-bikes that are going to be more quickly marketable, because what they'll do, this makes sense, is especially if you have an RV park that doesn't have restricted entry and a gate at nighttime, they'll go through during the day and case out or walk through with a dog looking like, hey, I'm just another guy staying in the RV park. And what they're doing is figuring out who's got the expensive e-bikes, noting down the site numbers, and then the operators come back at night, go to that site, know exactly where it is, what kind of cable is used, so they're ready to go. So I have been in RV parks that I've heard pretty quickly on that they were having pretty severe e-bike theft. So think about that. What else? I can't think of anything else. Those are all the things that I do to try to keep my stuff safe. Good insurance is good. You know, don't have outrageous deductibles, have reasonable deductibles. So, and definitely take pictures of your stuff. Keep your stuff documented. You know, I would, especially for, well, this video is not about like fires or anything, but let's say you lose everything. Well, you want to be able to claim as much as possible. I know people that, for insurance purposes, they take pictures of even drawers in the kitchen and stuff. Take pictures of every single thing they own, because you know what? You'll be shocked at how it adds up. You will be shocked at how quickly it adds up. You know, fire safety, that's a whole nother video. I think I've done my fire safety as part of another video, but maybe I'll do another separate video. Maybe well, I shouldn't do theft and then fire back to back. I'll do it maybe next week. But I hope you got a lot out of this video, and take comfort in the idea that I've been full-time RVing out west here in Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico for it'll be 4 years this December, and nothing has ever gotten stolen from me. So it's okay. It's not a big deal. What's up, George? That's my cat. Sorry about that. That's my cat, and my dog is there. Dottie, you're not making noise, are you? But the cat, you saw the cat come by there. Hey, George, what are you crying about? I just fed you. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next video.